My name's Casey Coker, and I am a filmmaker. I've been doing this since I was 12 years old. I'm 35 years old at this point, so shit, I'm not gonna do the math, you can do it. I was in 7th grade in English class with a woman named Miss McDonald. And I remember I was just zoning out and not really paying attention to what she had to say. And then I had this mental image just for a split second of a morbidly obese man rolling down the world's longest staircase, and it was violent and horrible and the most hilarious thing in the world because the whole time he was rolling down, crashing through banister rails and stuff, and I thought it was the fucking funniest thing that I'd ever heard in my life, or seen in my life, and it was all in my head. And how do I explain this to somebody? Like, this is incredibly funny. This is the funniest thing ever. And I remember I busted out laughing in the middle of the class, and she drugged me out of the class and started screaming at me, and like, she just thought that I was just laughing at her. And I didn't know how to tell her, like, no, I wasn't laughing at you, I was just laughing. And so I remember I went home that night, and my dad had this RCA VCR like camcorder. And so I found that I had a stop motion function, and I had to show people what was going on, so I made these little characters out of clay and tried to reenact the thing just frame by frame, and it was the most rudimentary, horrible stop motion ever, but that was it for me. I realized that I could show people what was in my head instead of just talk to them about it, and to show people that your own perspective on life can be hilarious. Like in Road to Perdition, my favorite line from that, it's Daniel Craig? And he goes, "It's all so fucking hilarious." And it is. It's all so fucking hilarious. And as long as we play it by how hilarious life is, then we can just keep going that way. And that's what I want to do. I want to show the world how hilarious life is.
Why are you always smiling?
Because it's all so fucking hysterical.
It was all on that RCA camcorder, and it was all VHS camcorder, and I would just have my friends come over, and we would just make up the stupidest shit that we could. I remember there was this one thing that we did called channel surfing. And so anytime that we would come over, we would just have like, I had a little Godzilla toy, and like I built a little city and had it get crushed. And then the interludes were always somebody that was just this morbidly obese guy on a couch covered with chocolate and shit all over his face that had a remote control just going, "No!" and changing the channel. And so every time he would change the channel, I'd throw in a little bit of static, and then I'd go to the next one. And it just got addictive. It got so much fun just having my friends come over and making these videos, and then the next time I would have people over, I'd be like, "This is what we did last week, let's do something else." And so we just started making these videos anytime that we got bored, and it was it's a lot more fun than, you know, going out and getting wasted and things like that. You had something to show for it afterwards, and I really liked the fact that you had something to show for it. When you're trying to actually focus on what you want to do, that if you don't love it with all your heart, then you're not going to make it. And after all these years, like, I just think back sometimes and I wonder if I made the right decision. And, you know, I think that I had a lot of hiccups on the way. I think I had a lot of hiccups on the way. There was a lot of trial and error, but in the end, I'm happy.